been to Medellin. Let me give y'all some tips. First tip, most important tip, especially if you're here in Parque Lleras over in 70th Street, um, just wherever. When it comes to taking a cab, um, first off, try to get in cabs with older men driving. Why? Because they tend they tend not to be like, I call them ladrones. But like, I'll give you an example. First time I got down here, I get in a, well, not first time, but I go to get in a taxi with a young guy driving. So, I ask him, can he take me to the apartment? Does he know where it is? Like, yeah, get in. So I get in. We get to the apartment, and he's like, I asked him, how much is it? How much I owe you? He's like, 20,000 pesos. 20,000 pesos is not a lot in dollars. But a taxi ride from where I was to my apartment, like, should have cost $6,000. But because I'm not, in my home state, I'm not in my city, I don't want no problems, you know what I mean? So I gave him the 20, but I let him know, I know what it is, man. But so that would be one tip. Try to get in taxis with older gentlemen driving. There's a few apps that you can download, Cabify, I think Cabby, some other apps that you can download to take a cab. So after the experience, I started listening to people telling me, because they told me that before I even did it, but I'm hard-headed, I know what I'm doing. So that's another bit of advice. Download that app and only take, taxi rides that app provides. Now, of course, you're going to get into some situations where you're in the streets and you may not have a phone plan, or you may not have access to Wi-Fi, and you have to just jump in a cab. But, it's best to ask up front, hey, how much does it cost? A legitimate taxi cab here is going to have a meter. So if he tells you, it just depends on what the meter says, that's all good. Second tip, most important, man, if you're in the bar drinking, watch your drink. Do not set your drink down. If you go dancing, if you set your drink down, when you get through dancing, go buy you another drink. It's not going to kill you to go spend, 4 or 5 more bucks. Go buy you another, because they will they will slip you a Mickey. They will hit you with that down here, so keep that in mind. If you're in Parque Lleras, don't get in a cab outside of like that area. Like if you're out here on just a regular street, don't do it. You can risk it, but it's better just to, be safe. Another tip I would give you, if you are coming down here for the nightlife, you're coming down here to buy girls. Amen. Ask these girls, are they boys? Ask them. There is a big population of transvestites here, and they look just like girls. If you don't ask, you won't know. And here in Colombia, everything is kind of open. So don't be like, I don't want to, ask nobody that, whatever. Why not? Ay, no gracias. Don't be, don't be like, I don't want to offend her. Hey man, they out here working in the street. You're not going to offend them asking them are they a boy, or they a true woman, or, or whatever. Don't get yourself in a situation that you can't get back out of. I would suggest too learning some Spanish, man. First night I got down here, I sat and I talked to the taxi cab driver for about 2 hours out here in Parque Lleras. And he just hit me to everything, what to do, what not to do, who's who. You even got to be leery of some of the taxi cab drivers too around here, because everybody's in cahoots with everybody. Everybody knows everybody out of here in Parque Lleras. Don't think that you coming down here and, you this big bad person, I do this and I do this back home or whatever. When you come here, you're on their territory. You got to play by their rules. So, if you find a taxi cab driver, somebody who works in a bar that, you get a good vibe from, ask them what's going on around here. Who's who? Who do I avoid? Where do I avoid? Is that a boy? Is that a girl? Just stuff that you shouldn't have to worry about, but here you need to worry about that. Of course, man, don't get in the cars with people you don't know. I mean, just common sense stuff. The stuff that once you start drinking or smoking or whatever it is you're doing, you kind of lose your sensibilities, you lose your common sense. So, hey man, it's best not come down here. Don't even do all that stuff. You know, drink you some beers and stay out the way. You know what I mean? Come down and enjoy what Columbia has to offer. Besides, you know what I mean, the girls and the drugs. You can do that anywhere, man. Don't come down here and get fucked off on the fluke. You know what I mean? So just some things that ran through my mind that I thought about sharing with you guys. For a lot of you who might be coming down here for the first time, and you know what I mean, really don't know how things go. This is a totally different country, man. Like I said, if you don't speak Spanish, I wouldn't even recommend coming down here if you don't have somebody with you to speak Spanish, you know, translate or something. 'Cause that's bringing out your phone and Google Translate, that ain't gonna cut it. That is not gonna cut it. So brush up on your Spanish. You know what I mean? Get ready before you come down here. Don't come down